3, 2, 1.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Blog Talk Radio, and this is the K Factor, where K equals kindness. And the factors are all of the things that lead to it. I am your host, Dr. Deb Carlin, and this is Tuesdays with Tessa. And I am thrilled to say good morning again to my good friend, Tessa Greenspan. Good morning, Tessa.
Good morning. It's a good day to have a good day.
You know what? Wouldn't it be funny if somebody would say to you, no, it isn't. It's a bad day to have a good day.
Well, it's a choice. Your choice.
It really is. So before we came on the air, I was saying to you, we were exchanging for a couple of minutes. How are you? And, you know, I woke up at 2:00 in the morning and I said to myself, you don't need to do this. It's a good night to have a good sleep. So I managed to have a good night of sleep. How was your night of rest?
Good, great. You know, I'm blessed beyond measure for so many reasons.
Yeah, it helps you sleep well at night. Yeah. So today we are going to be talking about the things that we have such love and feel such gratitude for. Because you know what, friends, in the midst of everything now that's glum and troubling, you've landed. This is your place for relief and joy.
It's so true. And you know, no matter what is happening in the world, we still have a choice. And my message for everyone is be kind. And I just posted to begin every day with a grateful heart, because no matter who is in power, no matter what, be grateful for what you have. Be kind. Don't be ugly. Be kind. You know, if you're a Christian, Christ said, I have come that you may have life and life more abundantly. So to claim that. And another message was love one another as I have loved you. So it's really important for us to get back to our center, not hate, not whoever. You know, we always have a choice of loving ourselves and loving our family. And my message too is we all learned what's important when we had this pandemic. What's really important in life, and it's to love and be loved. It's our family. It's really getting back to our center. I would like to urge everyone, do not forget this. No matter what division is happening in the world, remember what's really important.
God bless you. You can hear it in my voice. This is my normal relaxed octave. and there are so many times on the shows where even though I'm enjoying the connect, I hear my tension. My throat is, you know, you and I use a frequency device that recalibrates us on a very cellular level. And I keep using one of the programs, about 320 programs between frequencies and vibrations that allow us to experience functional medicine healings and very holistically. And I continue to focus on the one on my throat. And as we're on the show today, I'm doing the program called Release. And just your words and our connection has calmed me. I felt my posture change. I felt my shoulders relax. Just listening. I think my hair might have gotten even straighter. But you know, it is so true, Tessa. One of the things that you and I say consistently, and that we've written about so many times in books and articles and on social media, is love is always the solution. There is never a single time when it isn't.
It's my message to the world, and my belief beyond any shadow of a doubt that it's to love and be loved. And that really is if you had to say what is the meaningful or the meaning of life, and it's to love and be loved.
It really is. And you know, the the thing that I think about in terms of that is um, the ways in which, you know, if babies, and this is actual research, which is horrible, and it wasn't designed research, it was archival research. So it was records pulled up and reviewed. But what we found was there was an era when we had mental institutions and wayward girls who got pregnant out of wedlock and came from families of some substance were able to take that daughter and put her into a facility that really was a mental institution. She would give birth to that baby. They would take the baby away from her, keep the baby in the nursery. She wasn't allowed to have a connection with that baby. And the babies were bottle fed by the nurses, but they just took the bottle, inserted it in the baby while the baby was laying in the crib. And the crib was not, you know, a nice, puffy, yummy environment. These infants died. They never got the sucking reflex down because they weren't motivated to, they weren't inspired, they weren't in the warm embrace of the uterus. They weren't in the warm embrace in this life of the human arms and the beating of the heart and the warmth and the eye contact and the exchange of breath. And that syndrome is called failure to thrive. Well, we see that when people are horribly lonely, that they have a failure to thrive. In the elderly, we see a failure to thrive. And people who are either living alone on their own or they're in institutions like assisted living, where now you're on lockdown, you're behind a plastic wall or glass, you can't see and hug all your loved ones except through that barrier. So there's not that touch. And people are in there thinking, I'm never getting out of here. This is never going to end. My days are numbered anyway. And that kind of thinking just takes you down that negative staircase. There's actually a heart condition. A friend of mine just told me that his mother, they had to take her to the hospital. She's in her late 80s or 90s. And when they took her to the hospital, they said, well, she does have a heart condition, but the heart condition, they gave a technical name for it. And the cardiologist pulled him aside and said, your mother has a broken heart. Fix this situation or she will die. And he had to fix the situation. He fixed the situation, has gotten years back out of him. So love in our connection to one another is so core, essential. It means our next breath. It motivates us to live.
Not only that, but I think it helps us to be kinder. I think it also helps us to be, as you said, connected.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right about the failure to thrive.
Yeah.
So many people have needs and they're acting out now.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to handle it. So my personal opinion is that we could fix so many things if people would listen. That's really important too. Listen to people, listen to their ideas, to their thoughts, really listen and listen, not thinking about what you're going to say, but deeply listen. People know when you really listen to them.
Absolutely. Right. 100%.
And so this is really so important for us to be able to listen, no matter what's going on in the world, and love each other. You know, there are so many things that we could do just with kindness. And I can't get off of my kindness kick because I feel so strongly that we can make such a difference in this world if we would practice more kindness every single day. And I post these things. So if anybody wants to follow me on Facebook, every single day, it is my mission in life to put out positive, really reaffirming what's really, to me, important. And I think to the world too. It's not just me, but it's really kindness, gratitude, being thankful for what you have instead of resenting, being thoughtful and considerate And most of all, think of what you can do. Think of something that you can say that can make a difference in a person's life. And it must be real.
So
You know,
let me get you to talk about something that's really important here. And I'm not interrupting, I'm only pausing.
it's what?
I'm not interrupting, I'm only pausing you.
Okay.
All of that, as I'm listening to you, I know you and I know where that comes from in you. Hold up your book for a minute, even for those who are only hearing the audio.
This is needed as far as this book. I guarantee that any person that reads this book will be inspired because it shows the spirit of a person. My mother, this in my life too,
Yeah.
but it shows the spirit. It's called From Outhouse to Penthouse, available on Amazon. And it's all about life, laughter, love, and leadership. That's really what it's all about. But it shows of what's possible in life and how we can overcome anything if we choose to. You know, I don't believe in feeling sorry for yourself. My mother always said you can be a victim or you can be a victor.
So talk about your mother a minute. Your mother wasn't exactly a beautiful athlete who was running about having a groovy life raising two little girls.
No, no.
She had health problems, right?
Well, she really didn't have a lot of health problems. No, she didn't.
What
She
was
had a lot of obstacles. You know, when she was 20, she was in an automobile accident and was in the hospital for 13 months. After 12 months, gangrene developed in her leg. And they came in, this is her how she thought. And they came in to tell her what they had to do to save her life. And she said, do what you have to do. I have to get out of here. I have two little girls to raise. So that in itself shows her spirit. Not, oh my God, I'm 20 years old.
And they're going to amputate one leg?
One leg, the left leg, yes. Mm-hmm.
So your mother has two little girls. She finds herself single. She has two little girls to raise. She's in the hospital for more than a year. And then they say, well, congratulations. In order to get your get out of jail card here, we have to amputate one of your legs. And she says, giddy up.
I mean, she wasn't thinking about what the results were and, oh, poor me, or, you know, what am I going to do?
Right.
She said, do what you have to do. I have to get out of here. I have two little girls to raise.
Now, where were you from outhouse to penthouse? Where were you during that year when she was hospitalized? Where were you living?
Well, we had been visiting my grandparents in Arkansas.
Yeah.
When she was on her way to get us, and she was in the wreck. So we lived with our grandparents for that year.
And was it in a beautiful mansion in the rolling hills of Arkansas?
No, it was the back hills of Arkansas. And you know, you do what you have to do, but that's really what can either make you stronger or you can be a victim, you know. And I can honestly tell you, my thing was, I'm going to find a way and overcome, as was my mother's. My sister was, oh, poor me, I didn't have this or that. And she became an alcoholic and then a drug addict and then died of overdose. So it's all about choices in our life. Now, I'm not criticizing her because we had such extreme poverty and things that were against us that any person can say, poor me.
Yeah. So you were surviving with your grandparents who were loving, but you were living in a log cabin shack with a dirt floor.
They didn't really want to take care of us, but you know, they really didn't have any choice.
And in primitive conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was called From Outhouse to Penthouse for a reason.
Yes.
Because you had an outhouse.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So That's part of what I want our audience to know. And we've talked about this early on in our series. But, you know, for people to remember, like there are times, there are moments when I think to myself, and I catch myself, but I know that this is part of the human condition when we say, oh, poor me. I'm not worth anything. I don't have what I want. I'm not living my life dream. And then I snap out of it and I say, wait a second, look in the mirror. Yes, you are. You
Yeah.
are exactly where you need to be. You are living a step in the journey of your dream. You're alive and healthy. You have all kinds of vibrance. And by the way, I'm not just talking to me, I'm talking to our whole audience. And between you and me, Tessa, you know, every single one of us can look in the mirror and say that. And by the way, when you do what Tessa is saying and you get out of your own way, don't stand in the doorway blocking the entry to the next steps in your dream. Open it up and float through and do the gratitude that Tessa's talking about, right?
So true. And I do want to tell you this little part too. When my mother got out of the hospital, she had 2 kids, 1 leg, and no money. We were on welfare and lived in the Gompers, Section 8 housing in East St. Louis, Illinois. She did not want to become welfare. So she found a government program that taught people with disabilities. Now she's 21 years old by this time.
Oh my God.
Taught people with disabilities how to develop another occupation because she was a waitress before. So she went to school on a bus, on crutches for over a year to become a secretary in an office. Now that to me is determination. So I am really encouraging everyone. If you feel sorry for yourself, I can tell you some things that happened to me and in my life that you could really feel sorry for yourself if you wanted to.
So they feel sorry for you and then not for themselves.
Well, no, but see, I never felt sorry for myself. My mother never felt sorry for herself. She always sang gospel songs. She, never felt sorry for herself. And what you have to do to put on an artificial leg, and your leg has to heal for a year or more before you can even be fitted for an artificial leg. So what it took to just put her leg on was stump socks and harnesses and all of this.
Oh my.
I mean, it really is, I don't have any patience with people who feel sorry for themselves. I'm sorry. I have seen a person who has risen above every obstacle that was handed to them. So I am encouraging everyone. And especially today, it doesn't matter who is in office, you can still be kind. You can still accomplish the things that you want if you choose. It's always about choice.
One of the things that's the title of our show for today, the month of October for Tessa and I is about thankfulness, which of course with Thanksgiving, but for today, for this week, it's about being thankful in yet a whole new way.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I have done is I've decided what part of my journey is to every morning walk through my body and
Okay.
talk about what it is I am thankful for, from the bottoms of my feet all the way up through every part of my anatomy to the top of my head and to the halo of blessings that surrounds me, and give thanks,
Good.
right?
Yes.
I was driving in my car yesterday and I was feeling the angst of the news and in all the chatter that we're hearing in every outlet, which I won't repeat here because we want to take people on an uplift zone. And I put my hand over my heart as I was driving and I started saying out loud the Pledge of Allegiance, and then saying, thank you, God, that by your grace, I was born here and I was raised in the United States of America. Then I looked on my phone for national songs to sing, and I went back to my childhood in kindergarten and first grade and my elementary years and sang America the Beautiful and My Country 'Tis of Thee. And I could almost start to cry to tell you this. But when it comes to gratitude, I am so grateful that I have had a life of servitude. I've had a life of entrepreneurship and being able to have choices and choices of friends, where I live, how I earn money, what I do with my money. I mean, we have everything, everything, everything.
I totally agree. And it really is important to what you did. You can go through your whole body. Another way you can do this, and I do this every single day, is I write in my journal what I am so grateful. I wake up saying thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Right.
you. If you didn't say anything else but thank you all day long, it would change your whole spirit, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, but I write at least 10 things in my journal of what I have to be thankful and grateful for. And with the health, I am so thankful and grateful that every cell in my body is working in perfect harmony. That's another thing. I am so grateful that I am in perfect health.
Yeah.
Thank you. So many things. I am so thankful that I live where I live, that I have choices. Thank you. So if we just think about all of these things, no matter what is happening in the world, it's really us loving ourselves and loving our surroundings. It doesn't really, nothing else really makes a difference or can affect us if we do these things.
Yeah. You know, it is amazing the ways in which I'm in gratitude because I'm running another program on balance, you know, to get pure, to be centered, to be balanced. And I'm really grateful for this. And this is something that you and I can teach to other people. These programs are amazing. And I'm taken aback at the ways in which over the life of humankind, we have such knowledge that makes our life so rich.
Oh, amazing. We are in a position, we are in an era now that there are so many different kinds of things available to us that can make a difference in our lives. And I'm all about really living at peak potential all of my life. In fact, I speak on that. How to live at peak potential all of your life.
Tell us about that.
Well, there are certain pillars of life. One is what we put in our mind. I say that there's 4 or 5 pillars in our life. What we put in our mind, the food that we eat. I'm a big organic food person. The food that we eat is so important.
Very much so.
It's also the exercise that we do. That's 3. It is also the supplements or the things like you and I are doing, the healing, the other kinds of things that are good for us.
Mm-hmm.
And the 5th is financial.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't have any kind of finances, then we can't really live at peak potential. We won't have the choice of being able to eat. So it's really important for people to plan on their future in order to live at peak potential all your life. Sometimes I don't add the financial because, you know, a lot of people can say, well, I don't have or whatever. Well, you know, I feel that there are ways that you can do this. So, but that's really the methods. And then I have a whole thing, you know, I have a whole thing about sugar. You know, it's not what you give up, it's what you get. Think about you being able to spend time with your grandchildren. You know, cancer feeds on sugar. So many things that I can talk about because I've been a lifelong student of how to live at peak potential all your life. And thank God, I am so grateful that 1, I'm in perfect health and I feel that I am living at peak potential.
Yeah, it's amazing. I even in the midst of this odd year of transition, let's say that this is an odd year with a unique opportunity for introspection,
Introspection.
even if it's mandated, introspection, increased hygiene, massive consideration for interpersonal space,
Yes.
and nesting. We have this opportunity for well-being. Now there have been times I've gone a little off the deep end with worry, and then I catch myself before I swim out too far and I float. It's like being in the lake. Okay, swim out. Uh-oh, too deep. Right. I'm going to lay on my back and float, replenish in the water and the warmth of the sun, and then I'm going to swim my best skills back to the shore. We have all that in our wheelhouse, in our tool house, and we can exercise all of that. And even after all of the turbulence, I don't have any health problems. I am so grateful. I'm in my 6th decade of life. I have no diagnoses, no prescriptions. I am, good blood pressure, and for the most part, I'm really sane. Pretty balanced. There's things to work on always.
Always. I mean, that's really what life is about too. Let's keep adapting and adjusting. We're like planes that are headed to Texas, say, but the plane keeps adapting and adjusting. It's thrown off course. I really feel that this is a great analogy of life. It's thrown off course, but it keeps correcting to get to the point that we want to get to. And so that's really what we do. It's really adjusting, adapting, and correcting to get to where we want to go in life.
Absolutely.
Difference in other people's lives, to me, it's my mission in life now. But I think that anyone can do this. Say a kind word to someone. You look great today.
Yes.
I really like your personality. You just add joy to my life. So many little things that you can say that could make a big difference to a lot of people's lives.
We only have a couple minutes left, but I want to tell one short story. And that was that I went to the grocery, I guess 2 days ago. I guess it was on Sunday. And I went in there and I was so conscious of my concerns for our country and our freedoms and my belief of an impending lockdown again, that I felt this extreme love towards everybody in my midst. And I was more overtly kind. And when I got up to the cashier and the bagger, I really wanted to hug them. And I know that physicality is not tolerated right now. So I emotionally hugged them with tremendous outpouring of, I really want you to be okay. I hope we're all okay. Let's all pray for one another. And it was beautiful. So for today on Tuesday Talks with Tessa, thank you for sharing your wisdom and your life with all of us again. I love you dearly. You're one of the kindest people I've ever known. And I'm grateful for our time.
Thank you. I am too. I have one more thing to say, and that is, in your mind, you can send I love you to any person in the world. So I would suggest that you think of people that you can send in your mind, say to them, I love you.
I love that. Thank you, Tessa. All right. Hang on with me here and we'll switch gears. Until next time, everybody. Peace out. This is your host, Dr. Deb Carlin, and her good friend and co-host, the wise and kind, ever kind Tessa Greenspan.